response.
It was hot today, yeah.
Appreciate it. So, just by way of introduction, my name is Robert Speth. I am running for school board at large. I am definitively asking for your votes. When I thought about running for this position, it came from a position of an involved parent, right? And I had been involved. I happen to reside in Northwest Denver, and over the years have become increasingly involved in a variety of efforts to try to bring some funding into some traditional neighborhood schools, both in my neck of the woods and then ultimately to expand it into around town, including Southmore, things like that. So kind of worked through the bond process with 3B, and that just led to me becoming increasingly aware of kind of where things were going with the district, the level of involvement that was coming in from the communities and whatnot. So just a little bit on me. So as Happy indicated, I do have a job. I work for Sprint, and I've been doing that for about 15 years. I started as a sales engineer with them, and then I now work in a account management role with them and have for years based in Denver. I also am a product of public education. I definitely want everyone to understand that I do truly believe in public education. I believe it's one of a few great remaining equalizing factors in our society, in a democratic society, and I view it as just crucial that it is highly functional, right? And highly functional for everyone involved. I went through K-12 as a student in Wisconsin. I happen to be from Wisconsin. I'm a cheesehead. Please don't hold that against me. There are photos of me with a block of cheese on my head. They're out there somewhere. With that said, I then was fortunate enough to be able to get into a higher ed program in Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin-Madison, did a civil engineering degree, went to school in France for a little bit for a semester at an engineering school, and then a material science degree, ultimately as engineering, and then worked at Intel making microprocessors for a period of time as well. So I definitely come from a business background. I'm an involved parent in my neighborhood. My two kids, they're on the flyer here, are in elementary school currently, so I have a third grader and a fifth grader. And I only bring that up just to drive home the fact that I have an extremely vested interest in this personally, and I am doing my very best to make sure that the folks of the city are represented and their voices and concerns are being heard. The elements that anchor things for me are ultimately teamwork, teachers, and testing. From a teamwork standpoint, in my neck of the woods, and then as I've gotten into this race and I've run around town, all around town, there's just a deep sentiment from different areas around town, from communities, that their voices aren't being heard. The things that they're asking for aren't being heard to the level that they would like them to be, and that has just become troubling for a lot of folks. And so that was definitely a motivating factor for me to jump in. Teachers are just crucial for us in this district, and as a parent, it's crucial to me to have licensed, certified, as much tenure as I can get out of a teacher in that classroom with my children, with your grandchildren, right? It's crucial, and it's a profession, right? Along that line, I would say that, just note that I do have the support of the Denver teachers. So DCTA, Denver Classroom Teachers Association, has endorsed me. They do believe that I will do my best to help support teachers. The reality of where we are with teachers in the district is that we have we have the highest teacher turnover rate of any district in the metro area. And I'll be honest, that's troubling to me. I feel like, I was just chatting with somebody and they just said, I got a 10-year teacher and she was working at DPS and she's out, right? It kills me to hear that story, right? I mean, those are the people that we need to be hanging on to. And, so that leads down into testing, right? From a testing standpoint, we're doing a lot of testing with our children. And I'm kind of just, had that awakening because when you have a first grader and a second grader, you're still kind of under the radar, right? But then when you get into third grade, the hammer comes down, right? And so, this is an issue that's not just a Denver issue. It's not just a Colorado issue. This is a national level issue, right? And it is something that we need to really seriously take a hard look at. And as an engineer, right, I'm a data guy. I really am. I mean, I married an engineer. So we've got like 3 engineering degrees in this family. We get data. We really do. And we are just sitting here saying, this is crazy. The amount of testing that we're doing is just beyond excessive. So I know that's not an easy battle to fight, but I am definitely going to be doing whatever I need to do to carry that message back, whether it's to the mayor, the governor, the president of the United States, the supreme overlord, whatever it is, right? I will go and do my very best to say we need to right size radically the testing load on these students. And with that said, with that testing, you're getting a bit of a warping of curriculum in the classroom where you start to see this narrowing in, right? And you see the narrowing happening on reading, writing, and math. Reading, writing, and math. Reading, writing, and math. And, we talk about whole child. There are a lot of other elements in here, and I think there are a lot of people in this room would say, yeah, I appreciate that, but the reason I'm where I am is because of, that art class that I took, that photography class that I took, the music class that I took, whatever it might be. And so we have to stay focused on, the whole spectrum of educating these children. We touched on achievement gap, we call it opportunity gap, whatever it might be, but it's the delta between children that are not on free and reduced lunch and children that are. And the reality is in the last 10 years, we started, just as an example, on math, right? We were at 19% as an achievement gap, which is not good. That is like, we need to fix that, right? Well, jump to today, that number is at 33%. 33%. So the children that are in the most need are not getting the help from us in this room, right, to help them get where they need to be. And that is, honestly, as a father, as a citizen, it's troubling to me. It really, really is. So I'm in it for that as well. And, to look in and see what we can do there. I'm looking at my clock. I'm closing in on it. Yeah. 20 seconds. So, the other aspect here is there was a report done nationally on achievement gap and major cities. And out of 37 cities, after, let's say, the past 10 years of effort, and, we know where all the effort's been over the past 10 years, we're dead last. The city of Denver has the highest achievement gap of any of 37 major cities in the city. I'm in the nation. I'm embarrassed. This disturbs me greatly. So I am a parent. I'm running to win. Please believe me when I say that. I'm absolutely in this to win it and doing everything I can. So just trying to get the word out. Entertain any questions. I don't know if we have time for maybe one.
Question.
Yep. And take it from there. I don't know. You pick.
Opinion, short, briefly, opinion on Common Core?
Common Core. Common Core is an interesting question. So Common Core is a two-factor element. So factor one is the curriculum. Factor two is the testing. They have been bound together with duct tape, and they are now the same. They are wrapped in together. Common Core is a concept to say, and I had a deep conversation with a couple of different principals whose opinion I value. And I asked this very question, right? And he said, from a curriculum standpoint, it makes a lot of sense, right? To say, if you're in California today, and then you come to Colorado, and then you go to New York, and you're jumping a grade each time, how wonderful would it be to be able to know that you have some commonality there, right? I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? The challenge is, with No Child Left Behind, we've wrapped testing into it, and the testing wasn't really driven by educators at the ground level saying what makes a reasonable sense is from an amount of testing we do. That amount of testing was defined in Washington, D.C., and now it's been pushed back down onto all of us. Now you have parents all around the city saying, I'm opting out. I'm not even going to put my child in for that testing. So it's at the heart, I believe it, but at the testing side, we need to make some really serious changes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, if you have any questions for Robert, feel free to ask them.